Hello, wonderful viewers. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. How are we all doing? Only one more day until the weekend. We've got 3 more days until Manchester United are back in action as well. So this past 2 weeks on the channel, we've had a variety of content, and this day is no different. On today's show, me, Sam, and Aaron are going to assess every single transfer window post-Fergie. So if you have a favourite transfer window in mind that was particular, I can't speak today, how am I saying it? Someone say particular for me. Particular?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
am I saying it right?
Yeah, you
It
got it
doesn't
right.
sound right to me,
No, it doesn't sound right. Particular. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, if you've got a favourite transfer window, make sure you drop that in the comment section. This is a traffic light system. Look, Sam's got red, I've got green, and Aaron's almost got amber. Like, there's a little shade of amber behind him, so we're almost there. We just need them little paddles now where you can just put up when you say go, stop, or thingy. So yeah, how are we doing, lads? Sam, I'll start with you first.
Physically a bit knackered. Ran 3 mile on treadmill. Did a bunch of lifting in the gym, and had my eyes burned out by video editing today. So yeah, bit tired, but
So physically
we roll.
and mentally trained.
Yeah, we roll. It's fine.
Yeah, we roll. Aaron, yourself, you look a little bit more fresh today. You're a bit more plump.
Yeah, man, I'm good. I've just been chilling, working, being a dad full time. That's all I ever
Full-time
do.
dad. That's it, mate. That's it. A long-term commitment it is, isn't it? Yeah, look, there's only one place to start, really. We said we're going to assess these transfer windows. Let's just hit it straight on. 2013-2014 season, lads. Oh, make sure you smash the like on the video as well, by the way. Subscribe to the channel. Forgot to mention that. Doing my job. Yeah, 2013-14 season. David Moyes takes the reins from the Great One. I think we all remember that situation. Transfers in. We got Marouane Fellaini, Juan Mata, Guillermo Varela. No idea where he's at these days.
Galmero Varela, I think.
Galmero
Yeah,
Varela.
Galmero.
And Saidi Janko. I could not tell you who that is. Couldn't tell you his nationality. Couldn't tell you where he played. No
I think he was
idea.
English.
Um,
I'm pretty
was
sure
it?
He was
English.
actually all right.
Yeah.
I'm
Was
sure
it?
he went to Celtic.
Interesting. You lot clearly know more about him than I do, because I've never heard of the fucking guy. So just based off, you got Fellaini there, 27.5 million. Juan Mata, 37 million. Varela for 2.4, and then Saidi Janko for 700k. Aaron, just talk to me about Marouane, big Marouane. What's your assessment just on him individually and his time at United?
Like he came under a lot of scrutiny, obviously. But you know, once I've gone back and looked, obviously I've looked at the transfer windows one by one as well, and I remember it just floods back memories of the time of who we were linked with. That if you remember, we were linked with Cesc Fabregas. I'm sure we chased him for the whole
Tony
window.
Cruz.
Thiago
Tony Cruz
as well.
Yeah, apparently you turned down Thiago for Fellaini, which
What a
is
twat.
even mad saying that.
Oh.
But in isolation, I don't think Fellaini did too bad, to be honest. I was thinking about this. This was the one transfer window that I was looking at this morning. I was conflicted on, because it was like we didn't bring in the big names that we was obviously thinking we was going to get, and that Moyes obviously wanted. But if I look at Fellaini's time at United, he became pretty vital under Jose, I thought.
In certain situations, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
you know.
Did he score in the Europa final?
Well, one thing I've got, I don't know the Europa final, with Mkhitaryan and Pogba in the Europa League final, wasn't
Or
it?
was it the
Who think,
semi-final?
Could have been the semi-finals, but I remember him scoring
final.
against Young Boys as well in the last minute. I remember him scoring. That was important either to qualify or to go through to the next thing. So he was an important player in his own right at times, but surely that should have been where the red light was, no, where it's like, right, you know what, I'm going to go with, it was like, David, Thiago's there available, or you got Marouane you've managed before. Who do you think's a better footballer? Who do you think's going to suit the system better? And he goes, you know what, I'll have Marouane. We'll go with Marouane for it. That should have been the red light straight away.
As well. 17 million.
Yeah, so that straight away, someone in the board level should have just been looking at that and been like, okay, he clearly doesn't know what he's doing, because Thiago's a sensational footballer in all aspects of a midfield. So Fellaini, I just want to touch on a few more individuals before we assess it collectively. Sam, Juan Mata, great technician, came with a great reputation from Chelsea, great professional, but we didn't use him in the right position, did we? Like, we didn't use him as a 10. We pushed him out wide. Just thoughts on Juan Mata, his career at United.
Wasted for the most part at United, wasn't he? Just played him out of position. He was 2 times Chelsea Player of the Year in the number 10 position. We bought him, and you're thinking, here we go. Number 10, he's going to absolutely smash it. And we played him out on right wing for most of his career. And then towards the tail end of his career, when we were struggling for like a 10 before we got Bruno, we played him in the 10, and he did bits for us at 30. What was he, 34 when he left? 35? And he was doing bits for us, and it's just like, why was he not playing there his entire career? Like, it's baffling to me. So yeah, he was pretty much wasted at United. Gentleman of the sport, did a lot of good things for charity. He's got his 1% foundation. Was always kind to the sort of disabled fans and the young kids. He always made time out his way to go and speak to them and make them feel a part of United. And when I met him briefly when I worked in retail, came into the shop, one of the loveliest guys you'll ever meet, took a photo, proper like sound lad. Yeah, just a shame he was wasted for so long at United. I think if we would have played him in his proper position, might have won something. You might have seen another Player of the Year performance from him, but yeah, just a shame.
How are we going to rate the window in general, though, as like a dynamic? Because are you going to go off what players they are, or what they did for us? So it's a way, because it's very mixed with Fellaini, as Aaron touched on there. He had his big moments where he was rightly important, but for me, he was never a United player. Like, he just did not suit us in general. I thought he was more Burnley, Everton, that kind of stature.
For me, I think it should be what they did for the club, because if we went off names, then it would be like, I don't know, because obviously Pogba and that would be a great transfer, just off going off the name.
So I'm going to name some of the outs that we had, and I want to know if any of you know any of these players, because I've hardly heard of any of them. I know 1 or 2. So in that same window, we had Scott Wooten, Michael Fornacia, Reece Brown, Luke McCulloch, Luke Hendry, Luke Giverin, John Coffey, Freddie Visele, Giuliano Van Velzen, all released. Apparently.
I remember John Coffey and I remember Scott Wooten. I've seen them play. I think they got
Scott Wooten's the one I remember.
Yeah, I remember those two.
John Coffey was in the FA Cup team in it that won with Ravel Morrison and that.
Yeah. I remember those two.
And Reece Brown was Wes Brown's brother.
Interesting.
Rest of them, no idea.
Right.
No idea.
So we've got a lot of windows to get into. What would we give that out of? You got the green, amber, red. What would you give that transfer window?
Red.
Sam's going red. What are you going, Aaron?
I'm going to be a bit fair. I'm going to say amber, because I feel like Juan Mata, obviously, whether he was used or not, he was a good servant to the club. I feel like we got a long time out of him, and it's not really his fault that he was underutilised. And Fellaini, I think, had his ups and downs, so I'd probably say amber. I feel like red's a bit harsh.
I get your point. I take your point, because Juan Mata obviously was a fantastic servant, and Fellaini had his moments. But the reason why I'd say red is because I'm looking at the other transfer windows that we've had, and I'm thinking that would go in an amber category, and there's ones that would go in a green, and I don't think they go near that. But I do take your point. But I'd go red personally. We'll go on to 2014 to 15. Louis van Gaal's army. He's signed Angel Di Maria, 59 million. Ander Herrera, your boy Sam. I don't know what this rating's going to get. 29 million. Luke Shaw for 27. Marcus Rojo for 16. Daley Blind for 13.8. You got Falcao on loan. Victor Valdez on a free. Vanja Milinkonov, and then Sadiq El Fittore as well on a free again. No idea who these geezers are. So, Sam, do you want to start us off on this one first? Do you want to start with a Snake? Give us your thoughts on him before he arrived.
I mean, he arguably was one of the best players on the planet for a while, wasn't he? Was playing extremely well for Madrid. Scored important goals, some great assists. Very skillful. Was very excited when we got him. Thought he's going to be fantastic. Sadly, it didn't work out. He didn't like Manchester. His wife didn't like Manchester. Slagged it off quite a lot. It wasn't great. I expected a lot from him, especially after that Leicester game. You know, the little chip and the little dink.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, I was like, okay, this guy's going to do something, and then just didn't work out, unfortunately. Marcus Rojo, absolute mentalist, just out of his fucking tree, crazy. And you know me, I love a crazy player. I love people are
It
absolutely
was never
mental.
United quality though.
No,
was it?
definitely
You have
not.
to admit, it
He's
was
never
never.
been
Yeah.
like
The
this.
240 challenge.
Yeah, this is a guy who, when Pogba got his documentary made, rang up his agent and went, "Why has nobody come in and made a documentary about me?" Also asked his agent why he'd not been offered to Real Madrid when he was leaving United. Like, he's out of his fucking mind. And I love him. I love him for it. But he just not United quality. Ander Herrera, one of my favourite players to ever play for United post-Fergie. Absolutely loved what he did, the shithousery, the sort of passion that he had for United, the fight. He had some quality passing in him as well, scored some decent goals. And he got it. He's one of those players who got what Manchester United was about and just understood the club. And he said, like, the only clubs he ever wanted to play for was Athletic Bilbao, United and Boca Juniors. As the only clubs he ever wanted to play for, and he's done 2 of them.
Still could do a third.
It's a shame we didn't just pay his contract, just give him some sort of deal. Like, we let it go, and he ended up going PSG. Like, I think if we would have offered him somewhere near what obviously don't offer what PSG offered him because that's ridiculous, but somewhere around that mark, I think he probably would have stayed, and we would have had a decent midfielder for another couple of years. But it is what it is.
We did offer him, didn't we? But it was
too
late.
He'd already.
It was too late.
That's what I mean. They waited till like the last possible moment and then which he found disrespectful.
In United fashion, in United typical fashion, he just bollocked about for time.
And he did a lovely interview recently, where he spoke about the club, and he started crying and choking up about it, like the fact that he left. So he clearly still cares about the club, clearly still loves the club. Again, met him when I was in retail twice. One of the loveliest guys. Took photos, chatted for ages. It felt like, and stand-up guy. Yeah, just quality player.
Always helps that, doesn't it, as well? When
you
nice
like
person,
the person as well, it always helps. Shall I let Aaron talk about Luke Shaw, because I feel like I've just spoken about players.
I was going to say it's going to be like a rare tribute this for the next 10 minutes.
I'll calm it.
Aaron, I actually wanted to discuss Luke Shaw next because Patrice Evra left obviously a hole there when he went. Luke Shaw's still here, looking fantastic this season, but 8 years he's definitely had his dips. Have you assessed his time, up and downs, the injuries? Like, where are you at with him now at the minute?
Well, coming in, I thought he started really well. From what I remember, he was doing a lot of what he does now on bringing the ball forward on the overlap. I thought we had a real play on our hands, and then obviously the injury was a massive setback. Yeah, and for me, I feel like now in hindsight, at the time I was one of his biggest critics. I admit it. I was saying, he wasn't good enough. He was too inconsistent. But looking back now, is it a mixture of coming back from a bad injury and lack of coaching, which I feel probably was?
Jose criticising him as well, every week, just criticising him. That's not helping.
Yeah, I feel like Jose was pretty harsh on him, but we don't see what goes on behind closed doors.
True.
Jose's been pretty bang on about other things about United since leaving. But now I can only look at what he's doing now. He's kind of turned it round. He's been good since the Euros, really, hasn't he?
Consistent, very consistent.
That's
where would you rank him?
Go on, sorry.
All right, I was going to say, where would you rank him right now amongst left backs? Where would you put him?
In the world or the Premier League?
In the world. Top 5?
Yeah, probably top 5.
He's best in the league, isn't he?
He's just missing out.
In the league, he's the best in the league.
If he's the best in the Prem, and the Prem is obviously the best league on the planet, he's got to be top 5, surely.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here thinking about it now. I can't really think of 5 other nailed-on left back.
That's what I mean. You got Alphonso Davies, Robertson, who's been touch and goal for Liverpool. You got Cancelo, who sometimes plays on the left. So there's ones out there. But in terms of consistency and what you want from a left back, I think Luke Shaw is definitely in the conversation, maybe even top 3.
And how old is he now? He's still
young, 26, 25. I think.
Because I know he's younger than us, because I remember when we signed him and I was like, nah, this guy's like tearing it up, and he's 18, like 2 years younger than me.
He was 18 when we signed him.
Yeah, 18 when we signed him from Southampton. Yeah. So, yeah, Luke Shaw's been fantastic. So that's obviously, I think you would obviously look at that and think you've got your money's worth there. I think we signed him for £30 million or something like that. So
just add though, looking at that list, I've got that list in front of me, the transfer. looking at that, all them players we signed, when that transfer window, I thought, nah, we're onto something here. We're quite. You look at the players on paper.
A lot in it. It's a lot of players.
Yeah, it's a big transfer window, that.
Daily Blind as well.
Massive.
I think we didn't get the best out of him, did we? We just didn't see the
No,
best of him. I
feel
thought
like he was just a step too slow.
Yeah,
for
he
the
was
Prem.
like a really good utility player because he played centre back, centre midfield, right back. Like he could play in a number of positions, and he's done well for like other clubs like Ajax and stuff like that. He's done really well.
Yeah.
Just at United, just never cut it.
I don't think he was bad though. But
No,
I don't think he was
not
great.
bad.
It was just
No.
like kind
Yeah.
of. If he was a rating in
think-
himself, he'd be amber.
Yeah,
I think him playing so many positions hurt his United career because it's like we don't know what was his best position.
Yeah.
He played left back sometimes. He played centre back. I think he played CDM a couple of games. So it's
Yeah.
like, but I always thought he was better suited in the Prem as a CDM, not a centre back.
Yeah, I agree. I always thought with Ten Hag coming back, that could be a potential outside. We never got linked with him, but I thought that could be a potential outside the box kind of shout if he comes in just as that kind of utility player to box certain things off. Just the last one quickly because we've got a lot of things to get into. Like I said, Falcao, obviously a massive name at the time,
Gutted.
another kind of Woodward
Gutted.
signing. Everyone, talk about his reputation coming, what he did in Spain and other places. He was, fantastic, unbelievable striker, but didn't bring his reputation on the pitch. Wasn't great at all. Again, had injury issues. I think he scored 2 goals for us or something like that, and then went Chelsea and was even worse. So yeah, how did you feel about that?
I'll let Sam go. I'll just add this. Like, remember, this came from nowhere, Falcao. Like, it looked like the window was done, and I swear I went to sleep and woke up and it was pitched to Falcao in United. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Let's go.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be unreal for us. I honestly did.
Because the hype was massive, wasn't it, Sam?
Yeah, I was the same. I was like, this guy's going to score 20 goals. Like, it's going to be fucking ridiculous. He played so well. Was it Monaco we got him from?
No, Atletico Madrid, I think it was. And then he went to...
we
went
got
to
him from
Monaco.
I thought so.
Yeah.
He scored in bits. Like, Monaco's got a rep of like producing really good talent. Like, I thought we're definitely onto a winner here. This guy's going to score bags, and it never happened. He had that really horrific injury, didn't he? Was it the ACL?
Knee.
Yeah, the ACL.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he ever recovered. I just don't think he ever got back to who he was before that, which is sad because I was well excited for him and just was a bit disappointed.
Imagine a Falcao in his prime right now in our team.
We've done that a lot with strikers, as I'm sure we'll get into other ones. Like, we've missed the prime of so many strikers who back in their day were absolutely phenomenal. We've missed it.
It's like we wait until they go, right, they've got biscuit knees, we get them on a transfer, boom, we get cheap
when
transfer.
When they want a shit ton of money as well. Like.
Yeah, that is just Woodward's strategy when it comes to them. Just again, quickly on the outgoings, Danny Welbeck, 16 million, Shinji Kagawa, 7 million.
Why did we cover?
Crazy.
Who bought Shinji? Fergie?
Yeah.
I wanted to
during the Van Persie season.
I wanted to talk about
she scored
Shinji.
a hat-trick against Norwich.
I fucking love Shinji Kagawa. One of my favourite.
Kagawa went for 7 million. I don't know where he is at the minute currently. Zaha as well. I think so. Yeah, I think you might be right. Or he might be Stuttgart. I think in Bundesliga as well.
Again, another player who I wish would have worked. He was
and
unreal.
In that same season as well. Get on this. Everett went. You had Butner who went. You had Ferdinand Vidic, Anderson, Makeda, Jack Barnby, all released. Mental.
Yeah.
So as long as a big incomings, you had fucking shitloads of outgoings as well. On to Louis van Gaal's next season. Looks to strengthen, pushing some European spots.
Are we rating that window?
Yeah, we're probably going to do that. Probably should do that, to be fair. It is a traffic light system. I'm going to give it amber, I think. What do you guys want to go for?
Go on, Aaron, you go first.
You're going to say green, aren't you?
Nah, I'm going to say red.
Oh,
red?
Interesting.
But the only thing that's... Yeah, but you look at the list that I've got the list in front of me. I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 signings. 2 of them were decent. Luke Shaw and Ander Herrera.
It's a fair point. I think Blind was all right.
Yeah,
was okay. So if you've got 2 decent ones and 1 amber, and then the other ones that are red, apart from obviously the ones that are on a free, they're not always going to be a smash hit, are they? But if you just look at the ones that we paid for, with Di Maria, Herrera, Shaw, Rojo, Blind, and Falcao, you can throw in there as well. It's kind of 50-50 in it. That's why I'd go amber. But again, it's a democracy. It's what we do. Sam?
You don't want to know my
say
rating.
Are you gonna say green because
I really want to say green. I do. I really do, but I just realised that it just sounds ridiculous because I'm voting for one player.
And we can meet in the middle at Amber.
Yeah, we'll go Amber.
Okay.
We'll go Amber.
Okay.
I just want to. I just want to say it's a protest vote though. I wanted green, just to be clear.
Okay. Right. We've literally had a traffic light there ourselves because I went green, amber, and then red. Yeah. Moving on. Van Gaal, like I said, looked to push into them European spots, win a trophy, which he did with the FA Cup. Transfers in. Now, this is the first one's interesting. Anthony Martial, 36 million. I'm sure we'll definitely touch on him very shortly. Memphis Depay, 25 million. Morgan Schneiderlin, 24. Matteo Darmian, 12 million. I fucking hated that player. I hate that player. Sorry, Darmian, but he was dung. Bastian Schweinsteiger, 6.5 million. Regan Poole, 400k. Sergio Romero on a free, which is a
good signing. Good signing.
Yeah, very good signing. Some dicey ones there, though, Aaron. Do you want to start us off, mate, with your favourite
Martial?
No, you was in the comment section, so I just want to let you vocalise your thoughts.
He's going to be watching this screwing now.
I know, yeah. Just like Voodoo's all fucking poking it.
He's been waiting for this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go too much in.
Overall, as a signing.
I wasn't going to compare him to Luke Shaw, but I think Luke Shaw's probably had like more consistency. Listen, he's not a red for me. He is not a red. He has had good seasons, good moments, but I ain't got. It looks like I've got an issue with the guy as well, which does my head in because it's like people think I hate on him and that, but it's.
I saw you spray painting on the side of his house, dickhead, in red spray paint.
Stealing a living.
Allegedly, yeah.
Get out of my club.
Honestly, with Martial at the minute, I just feel like if we're going to push on now as a team, this is the only thing that I have, that if we're going to push on with a team and be a serious team, they're the sort of players that need to go. But overall, I'd give him Amber. He's had good seasons, had good moments. That lockdown season, the first one, where Rashford and was it Greenwood?
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Between them, didn't score like a bucket.
Yeah, they got 60. They equalled, or they was just behind Sadio Mane, Firmino, and Salah.
Yeah, they were all in double
like
figures.
60 plus with 20 like load. Yeah, something like that.
That was Martial's only 20 goal.
Is that not the NHS 20... season? Like when they had the NHS love out and the thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was his like only 20 plus goals season, maybe, or he hit just 20.
He's had double figures, and then like the NHS season when he was actually number 9 and was fit for the full season, he got these figures.
That season, I thought, right, we've actually got him now. Like we've got what we thought we had because we've seen glimpses of it. Like his first goal against Liverpool, against Everton when he scored in the semi-final. But it always feels like with Martial, it's like 5 steps forward, 10 steps back for me. Like you see it and then it goes again. But yeah, I don't hate him like people think. I think he's Amber. I think he's been an okay signing.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. The other one, Sam, not as Amber, more in the red section. Darmian, Schweinsteiger didn't work out for all his reputation that he had.
Another player we got past his prime.
I know.
At Bayern Munich, he was one of the best players they ever had in midfield. He was phenomenal. And then we got him and his legs had just gone completely. And that's the old trick in it. You never buy players from Bayern Munich because the reason they get rid of him, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
They don't let go of players unless there's a reason why. So it's just a shame it didn't work out. Matteo Darmian, I mean, there's nothing
he won a
about
league
that player.
with Inter Milan as well. Won a league.
And was vital to them as well.
Yeah. That shows the level for me in the Italian league. The Italian league is pants, man. I don't care what anyone says. It's shit. Because if Darmian go there and be a starting right back and win the league,
Ashley Young won one as well.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Well, Inter Milan signed half our rejects and went and won the league. And the Scudetto, I think they won under Conte. It was mental. So yeah, Schweinsteiger, another massive name that didn't work out. But Sergio Romero on the free that we touched on then, fantastic servant to the club. Should have never let him go. Sergio Romero, I thought that was criminal.
Best second goalkeeper we've ever had, Sergio Romero.
He was the best second goalkeeper in the world at that time. Like,
yeah, he was.
No one had a better.
Never
backup
put foot
keeper than
wrong.
that.
Anytime we played him, never made a mistake. Never put
Yeah.
foot wrong. Was always happy to fill in as and when needed. Like, I can't say enough good things about him. And the fact that, like, when we stopped playing him and we wouldn't let him go to Everton or whatever, it's just like disgusting behaviour. Like, we should have like had enough respect for him to let him go to wherever it is he wanted to go.
And again, this highlights the incompetence done it over the past 10 years, how many fuck-ups we've had like during each window, let alone and multiple ones at the same time. A few quick ones. Schneiderlin, Pants, don't need to touch on him too much, 24
I was just
million.
about to say to you then, what were your feelings when we signed him? Because I was a bit unsure. Like, he just
where did
came
he
off
come
the
from?
back of
Southampton.
a real good season at Southampton, yeah.
Yeah, and he was good at Southampton in fairness to him, but I was kind of always waiting for something to happen with it. Every time I watched him, I was like, I'm waiting to see this now. Like, why have we signed you? Like, I know you've been good at Southampton, but sometimes when you're under the lights at Old Trafford, it's just too much for you. Then, of course, he went on to Everton as well, didn't he?
There was that period, wasn't there, of Southampton where all their best players were just getting pinched, weren't they? Like, they were just developing these players.
Their academy, and
it was just
Bale, Shaw, like Schneiderlin.
So it's just Schneiderlin again, just not good enough. Like, just didn't hit the grade.
What about your boy Memphis Depay, Aaron? Didn't quite work out, did it?
Shite at United.
He really was shit.
You've got to give him points for personality though. Turning up dressed as a matador to training in a Lamborghini
rap albums.
Lamborghini Aventador.
Remember when he
and
tried
stuff.
that? When he tried that overhead kick and Rooney was just on the bench laughing at him.
Yeah. If nothing else, we've got good memories of the absolute bollocks that he brought to United.
Yeah, maybe that's the silver lining with it. In terms of transfers out, Di Maria straight out, 44 million, so we lost about 15 million on him. Javier Hernandez, 12 million. Johnny Evans, 8 million. Nane, 4.
I like Chicharito. I thought he was a good little player for us. It's a shame that he went when he did, because I thought he was a great super sub. He was like the new Ollie almost, wasn't he? Like, came on, scored important goals.
You're starting to see at this point now all the big ones that were under Fergie, the big kind of personalities and characters fading. Johnny Evans obviously went to Leicester for 8 million, which is a fantastic deal for them because he's been really good.
But Phil Jones is still here.
He's still there. He's still ingrained in the in the culture at United. Nane, Van Persie both went for 4 million, and Rafael da Silva left as well. So, what do we rate that transfer window? Martial, Memphis Depay, Schneiderlin, Darmian, Schweinsteiger, Sergio Romero, Regan Poole, whoever that is. Sounds like a wrestler.
It's got to be close to red, hasn't it? Because
I think
Martial's arguable is on the amber, and then Sergio Romero gets a green for me. So
Darmian's a car crash.
Darmian's car crash. Schneiderlin was shit. Memphis Depay was shit. So it was just like, it's bordering on red, isn't it? It's bordering on red.
Red for me. I'm gonna go early and just say red straight up.
Does it go amber? Does it
hit the road, man? They're not even a crash.
Does it go amber just because of Sergio Romero?
I don't think that can complement the other. Schweinsteiger was
trying
a
to be
disaster.
too kind doing that.
Darmian was a disaster. Schneiderlin was a disaster. And Memphis Depay was a disaster. That's 4 disasters in one window.
Right, we'll say it's a red, but Romero wasn't a passenger. He's hopped out and he's gone and caught the bus.
He went to when they go to the petrol station to get snacks. He was in there, and then the car just fucking veered off, and he came out.
He was in the BP. We appreciate Sergio Romero, but that is a red. We'll give that a red. Next one, the special one takes over. I am Jose Mourinho. Brings Pogba back, signs his go-to striker, and a few other additions. This is another interesting topic of debate. So Zlatan on a free, fantastic. I don't think most people argue with that. Paul Pogba, 90 million, let him go on a free, brought him back. I mean, that is an absolute can of worms that I don't want to go too far down because we could do a whole podcast about Pogba. Eric Bailly, 30 million. Henrik Mkhitaryan, 30 million. For me, Aaron, arguably one good sign in there. We know what happened with Pogba, just fucking roller coaster since he signed. He had a very good moments, don't get it twisted, at times where I was like, wow, he's impressive. But I think when it comes to consistency, when it comes to application, he was never fully there, so I can't give him green on that. Eric Bailly is good when he's fully fit and focused, but how often is that? And then
he's also,
I always liked as a player.
He's also mental as fuck, Eric Bailly, as well. He's out of his fucking mind.
Another one. from the Rojo kind of class of and then Mkhitaryan as well. I thought fantastic for Dortmund, but that was a swap deal, wasn't it? With Arsenal, was it Arsenal? No, that was later on, wasn't it? When
we swapped.
Mkhitaryan went to Arsenal, and then So in general, Aaron, what's your thoughts on that window?
Zlatan's like the only saving grace of that window.
Top in it, like
Yeah. Do you know what? I was so excited when we signed Mkhitaryan. I thought, I was followed him a bit at Dortmund just because of the hype that he had.
It's Kagawa level, isn't it? It's like Kagawa.
Yeah, it was that level. Yeah. I think the same as Kagawa had just come off winning like Bundesliga Player of the Year. I think Mkhitaryan got it 2 years in a row actually, or Kagawa, one of them did anyway. But Mkhitaryan, I think he's a good player. He was never a bad player. He just didn't suit the Premier. He was too weak.
I was just about to say he never adapted, did he?
Nah, because I always thought he played better in Europa League against European competition.
It's Astana.
It was less physical and he was a bit more silky. But in the Prem, don't know. Like they tried him as a winger, he wasn't a winger. Tried him as a number 10. I don't think he was physical enough to play in the middle. But he did score that scorpion kick.
Final.
I was actually at that game and I couldn't believe it. It was at
Then, I thought he was going to say the final then, but I know what you're on
Shah
about.
Sam's in the chat. He's just put that exact thing. Shout out to Shah Sam, Real Reds Ultra member. He said the only thing I remember from Mkhitaryan is the scorpion kick. So
I think that's one of the craziest reactions I've had to a goal. Just because I was like, I was in disbelief. I was like, what have I just seen? But for me, that I want to say Amber just because I love Zlatan.
Well, let's bring Sam on it because I want to get Sam's thoughts on it. What do you think, Sam? Because Zlatan's the only standout one. I know your affiliation with Paul Pogba. Again, we don't need. Please don't dive too into that because we'll be here all day. Eric Bailly, Mkhitaryan. What are you giving that?
Again, Mkhitaryan. I was the same as Aaron. I was like excited because it was a Kagawa. You think I would have learned my lesson. You think, guy from Dortmund would come in and he just didn't do it, did he? Just didn't happen. Zlatan, I don't like his personality, but you can't argue with his playmaking, the way he plays the game, the goals he scores. Like, can't argue with that. Paul Pogba is just all the talent in the world, all the potential in the world, and he never does it enough consistently for United. Just never has, never will.
That was always the lingering title.
That's always the thing. And when you're at United, that's not good enough. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't perform, that's it. And then who was the last one? Eric Bailly.
Eric Bailly.
Absolutely off his fucking tree, and I love him for it, but just could never stay fit. Just was never fit. If he would have been less injury prone, he probably would have been our starting centre back for a long time. Because he was quality on his day. He was fucking quality. He was one of our best centre backs. But then he would do absolutely insane shit like overhead kicks in his own box, drop kick
into his neck or something.
Yeah, drop kick a player. Just he'd do mental shit like that, and you just couldn't trust him. So it is one of those. So for me, like Zlatan aside, it's a red, isn't it?
I'm struggling with this, so I'll leave this to you guys because Zlatan was great. Pogba had his moments, but can you give it an amber? Can you push it up to an amber?
Let's go amber, just because.
Should we go amber?
Zlatan was really good. Bailly had his moments, just wasn't consistent enough, and then Pogba was inconsistent at best.
Are you happy with that, Aaron?
Yeah, I'll go amber.
Okay. Just the in terms of the outgoings on that, you had Schneiderlin again a year later, whatever it was, gone. Memphis Depay gone. Paddy McNair, Will Keane, and a few others who people probably won't remember. Moving on to 2017 to 18, Jose's second season in charge. Lukaku, £75 million. Nemanja Matic, £40 million. Lindelof, 31 million, and then the absolute that could drag it down to a red on its own, Alexis Sanchez on 500 grand a week. Absolutely.
Do you remember the video?
Nuts.
Do you remember the piano?
The piano. Oh my god.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god. Yeah, look, I don't know where we start with this. Bear in mind, lads, we've still got other ones to get into, so let's try not to think too much on it. But Lukaku, one good season. Matic, you could maybe argue a couple of seasons with Lukaku. He was a very frustrating player for me. Matic, again, probably solid. 2 good seasons for us, I'd say.
He was solid. He just towards the end, his legs started to go, and he couldn't perform. But when he was
such a topic
for 70 minutes, he was great. He was a really good. Like if we would have got Matic when he was at Chelsea, when Chelsea got him, fantastic, great defensive midfielder. Again, another player got too late. His legs had fucking gone.
Yeah,
and
we just needed to get Matic on that Jamie Vardy diet. That's true, so he can last for the full 90 minutes. Yeah, caffeine and something else. Yeah, Lindelof, I think for money has been decent. Maybe like £30 million. We got quite a bit of longevity out of him. I think he's been a decent backup,
still here,
especially this season as well. Yep, still here. So I think that's good. And then Alexis Sanchez, man, wow, unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my life. 500 grand a week. I was just watching him week in, week out.
Shit the bed.
He's what's happened? Where's this player that we were supposed to have signed? He's just not the player.
Do you remember City were like gunning for him the entire way, and then we came in with another offer. And
same thing with Maguire though.
Yeah, and I was like, well, if City are after him, there must be something. And he just came in absolutely shit the bed. Just terrible.
This is an hard one to rate. This, Aaron, how are you seeing?
I'm looking at it now, and
it's hard, isn't it? There is some.
Lukaku was alright. Had a first good season, and I feel like for Lukaku, it's just when Oli came in and we was playing more counter attacking. He ain't the man for counter attacking.
On the right, he was playing him as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, his first touch is like a fucking shot.
Yeah,
it's awful. Matic, I liked Matic, but we should have got him about 3 years earlier. Lindelof. There's been times where I thought we should have sold Lindelof. He's kind of got a bit better now, but when he first came in, do you remember that one of them first games when he ducked under the ball?
Yeah.
I think it was against Brighton, and Sanchez ain't even worth talking about.
No.
I'm gonna go red.
Red. Going in with the red. Sam, what are you giving it? Make sure you get involved in the comment section as well. Join in with us as we're going through these transfer windows, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later on. And make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Sam?
Yeah, it's hard. I wouldn't argue with a red, to be honest with you, because Alexis Sanchez just sort of drags the entire thing down, doesn't it? But I think Lindelof has been decent for us. I think he has had his moments where he's been a bit wobbly. But for them, I think for 80-90% of his career at United, he's been solid, decent, I think, for the most part. I think Matic was, again, solid, decent for the most part. Just towards the end, his legs completely disappeared after 70 minutes. And then who was the other one with Alexis?
Lukaku. Sanchez, Lindelof, Matic, Lukaku.
And then Lukaku had one good season for us. Scored like 20-odd goals. And then after that, just became terrible. Yeah. Like every time I watched him, I remember just being absolutely frustrated because every time he'd receive the ball, he'd be like, God knows where this touch is going. Could go behind him. It could fly off the other way. Like I don't know how he was playing football with that touch. Like it's baffling.
Playing in Timberlands.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, it actually was like steel toe caps.
So I'm probably at an amber. I'm probably at the point where it's just gone off red onto amber. I'm probably on the tick over.
That's what I was just about to say. If there was a level between, if there was a level between, that's where I'd be at.
I'll go amber. I'll go amber. I'll just go amber.
Amber. Oh, you're gonna leave it on me to decide, and I don't want to do that.
Not one green yet, by the way.
There's definitely a green coming.
Well, we would have done if we'd all agreed on Ander Herrera, but you weren't having it. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fuck knows. I've got to go red because of Sanchez. I've got to go red. Sorry, but yeah, Lukaku, Sanchez in that. Sorry. And then outgoings in that Mkhitaryan swap with Arsenal, of course. Januzaj, Wayne Rooney, Schweinsteiger gone. Zlatan Ibrahimovic gone. It seems like we don't keep players for a fucking year or two and then they just bounce. Weird. Next up, 2018 to 19, Jose Mourinho's last transfer window before he kind of heads off into Wonderland after the absolute debacle, the whole debacle around him. Fred for 47 million. Diego Dallo for 19 million is a fantastic deal in my personal opinion. And then Lee Grant on a free. So very small sample to go off there. Sam, start with you. Fred 47. not great, is it? In hindsight,
the price we paid, no. I think there is a player in there, but again, consistency is an issue with Fred. Like one game or one half, he'll be one of the best number 8s in the team, and then the next week he'll just completely decide I'm going to choose violence and just absolutely destroy things. So it's just Fred is remarkably inconsistent. Yeah, that's where he is.
He specifically is Amber in it. Like
Diego Dallo, it took him a while, didn't it, to find his feet and to get his form going. It took him a long time because he brought him in.
Absolutely.
Didn't work really. Ollie later brought in Wan-Bissaka, took his spot. He ended up going to loan on AC Milan, found some form, came back under Rangnick, played really, really well. I think arguably the better player out of everybody, and then is now under Ten Hag, up until recently, looks like a fantastic right back. So I think it took him a while. So I think jury's still out on him potentially, but he's heading in the right direction. But again, it depends if he can win his spot back from Wan-Bissaka, doesn't it, at this point? Yeah. Because he's not looking like he's going to. So I think it's a very small sample size, but I think I'm tempted on the Amber level. Lee Grant, I mean, who gives a shit? He absolutely
I was just about to ask Aaron about the sparkly signing, the big talking point. I mean, out of all these transfer windows that we've had, Lee Grant on a free is the obviously the most shimmering, glittering one.
Romero who?
Yeah, Romero who needs him? We want Lee Grant back in this squad right now. Yeah. Do you go Amber yourself, Aaron? You look at that. You know, Dalot's obviously a good player for us now. Fred, very hit and miss, and then Lee Grant is just like meh. So it is somewhere in the middle, innit, I suppose.
I was tempted to say Green, you know.
Really? Green?
Just because, obviously, if you're basically picking out 2 players, Fred he's inconsistent, but sometimes he can be like one of the better players on the pitch. Fred's like arguing with your missus or something, where she gets you to the point where you're just ready to flip or something, and then she'll just like make you laugh or something like that, and everything's fine again. But that's like Fred in 90 minutes. First half, you'll be like a breaking point with him, and then plays a blinder.
And then he scores a 60-yard worldie, doesn't he, from out of nowhere? And you just like
on his weak foot.
I don't fucking
like in the bottom corner, just like makes it look like he's been scoring goals all his career. And Dallo, like you say, recently dipped in form, but under Ten Hag probably been one of the better players. He was very good under Rangnick as well. I can agree on Amber, but it'd be like Amber to maybe like just miss the green, go into Amber.
Dave's got good... Sorry, Nick.
No, sorry, come.
Dave's got a good couple of comments. It's annoying because I think a lot of these windows would have been seen green in the right circumstances, but there's no structure above it to make it, and that's the real kicker. Fred Dallo at the time is a horrendous window. In hindsight, the players are good, and I'm glad they're at the club, but at the same time, that window was red in hindsight, maybe an Amber. So yeah, a lot of people are
that's
in the same boat.
It's hard to measure it in it because you're looking at the time when we buy it, you think, oh, fantastic, these are good. Or at the time, you're thinking, 50 million on Fred, like what the fuck are we doing here? I'm sure there was a story about Shakhtar Donetsk when they heard about when Freddie sold Fred for 50 million. He was popping champagne in like the executive.
I bet they were doing that for that Mudryk as well.
Mudryk,
like for 75 minutes.
I've seen so many memes on him. So many memes. Like the little kid from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, like just there, like Home Alone, like loads of shit. He's proper getting pelters at the minute, but bless him. What about the transfers out? Blind gone. Sam Johnston, 6.5 million for Sam Johnston. That's all right, isn't it? Fellaini went for the same price as well.
Did he go to
West Brom?
Preston? Oh, I thought it was Preston he went to.
Was it Preston first and then West Brom?
Maybe.
Because I know he played for West Brom, but I don't know if he directly went from United or not.
Possible.
And then we got relinked with him, I think, last year.
He was playing well, wasn't he, for West Brom? Like, he was doing really good.
Yeah, it was good. I heard about England shouts, apparently, and stuff. I think he got a couple of call-ups. So, so are we going Amber with that, lads? Yeah? Okay. We're getting closer and closer now. This window, I've really wanted to discuss because, for obvious reasons.
Look at Aaron's face. Look at his face.
Do you know why? Because I'm on the website. Do you know that I sent you before?
Yeah.
And in between these transfer windows, there's a picture of Harry Maguire, man, and I just seen it. I was like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, Where else can we start? So 2019 to 2020, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first transfer window, £80 million on Maguire, £50 million on Wan-Bissaka, £15 million on Dan James, £47 million on Bruno Fernandes. Well, I'm sure we signed Bruno in January, didn't we?
We did,
so
yeah.
are they doing it as a whole?
I think they're doing both windows.
Yeah.
Right, okay. I'm just double checking that. So Bruno Fernandes, 47, Hannibal Maidbury, 9 million, and then Igalo on loan. Aaron, £130 million for Maguire and Wan-Bissaka is looking absolutely mad, isn't it?
That window is just Brexit FC.
It's bad. It is bad. But Bruno's the only standout one. That's the thing. You look at that. Bruno's really good business. Probably the best deal we've done post-Fergie, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. See, if you'd have asked me a few months ago, it would have been even worse because Wan-Bissaka, but he's actually turned it around a bit. So I'm not looking as bad at that one, but
50 million though. 50 million is still too much for Wan-Bissaka, isn't it?
It's still a lot.
That's too much money.
Yeah,
considering City got like
Kyle
Cancelo
Walker
for 35 as well.
They got Kyle Walker for 50.
So you're looking at it, you're like, not sure about that one.
For a guy who's got no
James.
forward like ability for the most part up until recently.
Dan James, 15 million. I'm sure we made a profit on
We
him.
did.
We did like 30 million.
Yeah. The only player I think we've ever made profit on.
Lukaku? Did we make a profit on Lukaku?
No, sold him for the same price.
Oh, okay.
Lukaku. Yeah.
Igalo was kind of like a make-a-wish thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. In his United pajamas on Christmas Day. Absolutely loving
that was
it.
just like, but he loves the club.
Yeah.
Just sign him. He loves it. Yeah.
But do you know what? I was happy for him at the same time.
I loved it.
Kind of buzzing for him.
I thought it was great. I thought a guy who's a fan of United for his entire life probably never thought he'd ever play. He was playing in China or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Probably thought I'm
when
never
you got
gonna.
that email off his
Yeah, that's what I
he
mean.
was like, let's
it's
go.
They didn't
like-
believe it.
Like if all of us have played football, we're obviously not anywhere near the standard of professional footballers. If they emailed us, we'd be like, "Fucking yes, too right, I'm gonna go do it." Like, do you know what I mean? So
100%. That's kind of my argument with Harry Maguire being given the captain's armband. He gets shit, but he ain't gonna turn it down, is he? If when Ollie turned and said, "Oh, this is yours," he ain't gonna go, "Nah, I'm not up to that."
You'd get as many pelters for turning it down as you would think if you got offered it, and you're not taking the captaincy if you've been offered it. So it's a win or lose, isn't it? Either way.
Bruno again, probably the only saving grit. Wan-Bissaka, Joey's still out. I'm not going to be too harsh on him.
Hannibal, I think Hannibal's a decent signing. I think he could be.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the one where the jury's still a little bit out because you've not seen enough from him. But from how he's progressing, you could argue
he's playing well at Birmingham. Like he's doing bits for Birmingham and stuff like that. So
yeah, one of my mates is a Birmingham fan, and he speaks highly of him. He says, "Do you know what? He speaks highly of Chong as well, but I just don't think Chong was United or Premier League level.
He was shit.
I was trying to be nicer than that, but
no, I agree. I think he's dung. Every time I watched him, I was like,
what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah. Oh, just every time I watched him, I just thought like his first touch is awful.
Championship player, isn't he?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what he's good at, and that's not good when you're watching a young player. Whereas Hannibal's got a bit of tenacity about him. That's it. Chong is basically the B-Tech version of Hannibal. That's how I look at them two. So yeah, look, we're getting slightly sidetracked here. I just want to hit the nail on the head. Look, the bargaining with Maguire and Wan-Bissaka was atrocious. Like we'll give you 50 million, no. Maguire 60, no. 70 million, no. 75, no.
And it was 80. It was 80 on June the 1st when the transfer window opened, and we paid 80 million when the transfer window closed. Like, it's the worst negotiation I've ever heard in my life.
It's
so fucking worse. You look at the transfer window before that. It's Fred and Dallo, and Mourinho was crying out for Harry Maguire for about 40 million. Fast forward one more season, and we paid double.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. And not to mention, he is double the price of Rafael Varane. Double the price of Rafael. A 5-time Champions League winner, by the way.
He also
cost a World Cup winner.
He also cost more than Virgil van Dijk, who Scousers rate as one of the best defenders of all time. He had 2 good seasons, and he's the best defender of all time. But he also cost more than him.
I think as far as high spending transfers goes, that's probably the worst transfer ever.
You know, I just thought he's the same price as what we sold Ronaldo for.
Yeah. So Yeah, there we go. I don't think we need to say any more than that. What do we give that transfer window? Bruno is in there, fantastic. Maybe looks all right, but Dan James.
I think Bruno makes it amber. I think without Bruno, it's a definite red. Yeah, because Bruno has been so important and so integral to us.
Yeah.
Like without Bruno, God knows where the fuck we would be right now, because he has been super vitally important. Like he is. We'll get on to the next window, but he is a Lisandro Martinez level signing. That's how important. So I think he drags it to an amber.
I feel he was like the turning point. It's like when Bruno came, things started to and then Ten Hag followed, and yeah.
Quite literally our saviour. In terms of outgoings, we had Lukaku 73 million, Darmian for $1 million, fucking hell, Herrera, Valencia, Wilson, Matty Willock, and then a load of other youth players. Callum Griffin, who we were speaking about the other day, actually.
I can't believe Valencia was still there at that point. That's mental.
Yeah. It's mad. I don't know if it's it's Antonio Valencia. Is that right?
Is he still there? I'm sure he left before that.
Surely he was still there. 2019 to 20. I'll double check that. Someone fact check it, whoever's watching, and we'll come back to that. 2020 to 21. So we've given amber to the 19-20 season, the transfer window. Okay. 20 to 21. Fuck me, this is horrendous as well. Absolutely horrendous.
Amazing.
Honestly.
Have we done a window yet where we're like, this was fucking good? All of it has been fucking terrible.
It is horrendous. Well, some of them are like, good. Like, it's Donny van de Beek for 35 million. I'm sorry.
Not worked.
Fantastic for Ajax.
Not worked.
It's not worked. He wasn't an Ollie signing. Let's be clear about that. He just definitely wasn't. He signed him, was like, it's a player. You even want him or you're not. And it's like, fuck it, I'll take him. That's how it was. Alex Telles, £13 million defensively. So naive. Just never really hit the ground running. Had that volley in the Champions League. I think that's the best thing he's done.
The only positive Alex Telles had, he made Luke Shaw work harder.
That's
and
it.
Come back to form. That's the only thing. That's all he did.
Yeah. Ahmad, 19 million. Look, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Ahmad.
Is it green now, Nick? Is it green now, Nick? Because Ahmad's there.
No, but that in all seriousness, he's growing in it. So it's a young player. It's hard to kind of think. Same thing with Palestra. Cavani, the first season,
fantastic,
unbelievable.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like cult hero kind of stuff. He was really good. Scored some really important. I remember the Southampton game. Came off the bench.
Yeah,
completely changed it. His attitude is what fans absolutely resonated with. I saw that in Old Trafford. They fucking loved him.
Had a chant,
and his hard work off the ball. Yeah, the chant, which I was allegedly singing when I got onto the pitch, and then did the rest of it, and no one else joined in, and felt like an absolute twat. But that's discussion for a different day. So quickly if we can, because we've got a couple more that we need to think of, and we'll push for time. What are we giving this window, lads?
I mean, there's some shocking names in there, isn't there? Like Jesus Christ. Cavani as well. I was convinced. I was the opposite way of Falcao. I was like, this guy's legs have gone. He ain't gonna play well. He's here for a paycheck, and he's not gonna do much for us. He'll score a couple of goals and then fuck off. And he totally changed my mind. He was fantastic. He got the club. His attitude was there. He was defending players, the players who I won't mention right now. But there was a moment there in the Liverpool game that I really enjoyed. He had a chant. Scored some vital goals, and then he just got kind of put his nose out of joint when Ronaldo came back, didn't he? And it kind of ruined the whole sort of Cavani thing.
Well, we had a discussion about this, didn't we? A very famous discussion about the back and forth about it. But I'd be pissed off if I was Cavani.
I agree. I agree with, but and then he just sort of decided, well, I'm not going to play for United. I'm just going to play for Uruguay and travel halfway around the world and then claim I'm injured for United. So it's gutting. Again, another player. If we would have got him when he was like absolutely bagging goals at Napoli and PSG, fuck me, what a player that would have been in his prime.
Cavani
prime Cavani,
much like Falcao before.
Just stunning player, and I think he was really, really good. The rest of him, I mean, what do you want to say?
Jury's out with two of them.
Donny's probably gone. I think he's probably gone in the summer. I just don't think it's ever worked for him. Tellez, it's not good enough. He's gone. So, can you put an amber because of Cavani?
I'm going red, but it's up to you, lads.
What even with Ahmad and Palestra?
I think the good youngsters obviously not anything yet. But it's hard to measure it and say that they're good signings. Like because of potential. It's hard for me to do that. Like if they was a few more years on in their development, and they was get like I know Garnacho's only coming to the team, but if they was putting up regular performances like that, it'd be a bit more easier for me to assess it. But Ahmad's not really played for United.
I'd say I'd be tempted to go Amber because Palestra has established himself now, hasn't he? Like he's forced his way into this team.
He's getting there. Don't know if he's established.
No, but he's forced his way into a team where Sancho is arguably a £75 million signing, and Anthony, who's a big money signing, and he's forced his way into starting on that right wing. So I think that
this is it, innit, Aaron? What are you saying?
I can't decide out of red or amber.
You've got the decider because I'm saying red, Sam's saying amber.
I've just remembered that I swear it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used Donny van der Beek to warm up the players before one game. He was that too. Like, yeah. I remember that's a red for me. Can't be doing that.
Just based on that alone, red. I love it. Yeah. If anything's gonna swing the pendulum, it's fucking Donny giving out the bibs. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, right. We'll give that a red. Outgoings in that: Smalling, Fosu Mensah, Ashley Young, Angel Gomez, the rest.
Borthwick Jackson.
Rojo went to Boca Juniors to smash someone's head in with a fire extinguisher. Pissed off.
He's so lucky.
Have you seen that video of it?
Yeah, I'm like,
mad.
Do you know what? Like, do you know when he was asking why a documentary's not been made about him? There should be a documentary made about this guy because he's out of his mind.
Just a quick one before we move on. Did you see when I think they won the league last season, and straight away all the teams were celebrating, and he was stood there smoking a cig on the pitch.
Nutcase in it.
Did you see when he made toast at home? Like, do you see that when he put an Instagram post up? And it's just black. Like, it's just absolutely charcoal to shit. And he's
no
like,
butter on
toast.
Marcus Rojo.
I love that dude.
Gem.
I love him. Legend. Build him a statue. Fuck it.
Statue outside. Oh my god. Yeah. So what did you give that, Aaron? You give it a thingy, didn't you?
Red.
Donny's giving out bibs. £35 million to give out bibs.
Yeah. Right. Next transfer window. Before we get caught up in the old burnt toast scenario, 2021-22. The Super League cover up, the fairy tale, Ronaldo returning. I don't think we'll ever forget that game against Ronaldo, but we also won't forget the interview with Piers Morgan as well at the same time. Ronaldo 12.8 million, Sancho 73 million, Varane 34 million. This one's hard for me to rate. It really is hard to rate because there's so many different variables going on with it. Sancho's still not hit that player we thought we was buying from Dortmund. Ronaldo, the first season, unbelievable. Second season, fucking car crash. And then Rafael Varane has been unbelievable since he signed. And then
his first season, Varane, though, he was hit and miss, wasn't he? Because he couldn't get fit. He was just injured, just all the time, just consistent. I think he didn't play 3 games in a row for like the entire season. Like he played 1 game, get injured, 2 games, get injured. Like he never played 3 games in a row.
He didn't want to play with Maguire because every time anyone who plays next to Maguire, they just seem to be instantly worse. You see him next to Lissandro now. Fantastic defender, Rafael Varane, for £34 million as well in hindsight. Like, it's a very good signing. Sancho's amber for me, and Ronaldo's green first season, but red next season. So, where do we go?
I'm tempted
to go green. Just go on. Go on, Sam.
Go on. You go. You go.
I'm tempted to go green just because I remember how buzzing I was when Ronaldo signed. Because it kind of made me feel like a kid again. But if I'm going to be honest, it was one good season.
I'm going to have to push you because of the time.
Yeah, I'm going to go amber. I'd say amber.
Sam?
Yeah, amber. Varane, good highlight, but his first season was tricky. Didn't see the best of him after that. One of the best centre-backs in the league. Ronaldo, great first season. Basically held the team together through one of the shittest teams and seasons we've ever had in the history of Manchester United, but then absolutely decided to set fire to the place on his way out with Piers Morgan. And Sancho just hasn't shown up yet. Like, we haven't seen it yet. So I'm tempted to go amber if Ronaldo had had another season like that and then left anyway, you'd probably get green out of me. But because of that second season when he came back, he torched the place. So amber for me.
It is hard to rate that. It is because there's so many different things. But yeah, if you have gone with amber, majority rules, and it is amber. I don't want to make a decision on that. It's tough, but I'll go with you guys on it. The last one, we've not had a fucking green. So God help, I hope this one is a green.
This will.
Yeah.
This is the only green.
This is the green.
It's amber, red, burnt toast, pianos, and all the other fucking sparkles. We finally got to the end. 2022 to 23. Eric Ten Hag comes in this season. Tyrell Malacia, 13 million. Lisandro Martinez, 46 million. Christian Eriksen on a free. Casemiro, 60 million pounds. Anthony, 80. Jury's still out. Very pricey, but again, not his fault. Dubravka, Butland, Weghorst, and Sabitzer. I mean, there's a mixture here that we're talking about, but it's hard to say it's almost not a smash hit in it, to be honest, looking at them signings, lads.
The first three names you mentioned there, or four names, did you say? Casemiro, Lisandro, Eriksen, and Malacia. They've all been absolutely fantastic. Casemiro and Lisandro arguably been our best players this season. Like, I couldn't name like maybe Rashford's in the conversation, but like Casemiro and Lisandro have been far and away the best players in our team. Fantastic. Eriksen has been really, really good as well. Just he looked like he was getting a bit leggy the last couple of games, but I think he's just because we didn't have anybody else to play, because obviously Donny got injured. But he looks like he's on his way back, and boy, have we missed him. Like, we've definitely missed him. When we've had to play like Fred and McTominay, and we've not had that incisive pass. So I think they've been fantastic. Again, jury's out on Anthony. It's his first season, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt for now. Give him another season, let him get used to the league, get used to Ten Hag. Maybe more quality players are coming around him. A striker, for example. Maybe he'll start to perform then. Sabitzer, I would sign permanently. I think the guy's quality. I think he offers something we don't have in that midfield, and he's a hell of an upgrade on Scott McTominay in terms of a squad player. So I would sign him 15, 20 mil, get it done, sell Scott McTominay. And Weghorst, like, we mock the guy, we do, because he doesn't score goals, and I think he needs to be able to score more goals. But his effort's there, he gets it, he loves the club, he loves the players, love him, etc. And if you're not going to be quality in terms of finishing stuff like that, at least you can have all that other stuff. So I think that window is green all the way, because Ten Hag is absolutely smashed out of the park. The only one with a question mark is Anthony, but it's his first season, so I'd give him the opportunity.
Yeah, hard to argue with that, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree with everything. But the only thing on the Anthony thing is, I'd say, why I'd probably put a tick next to him as well, is because you look who played on the right for us the season before. Sancho, who was Maka, let's be honest, and Dan James, or Alanga, or Chong. So it's like every signing he's made has been an improvement. Weghorst, Martial was barely playing. We were playing Bruno as a false nine, so it's an improvement already. Like Sam said, Sabitzer's a massive improvement on McTominay. So, yeah, man, that's all green for me. Obviously, take out Jack Butland and Dubravka because they don't even play, but yeah.
I think we're all agreed on green with that, to be fair. Transfers out, James Garner, £15 million, which a lot of people
I'm annoyed. So annoyed.
Annoyed about. I'm starting to adjust to it slightly because he hasn't really done much for Everton so far.
Been injured, though, hasn't he? Season. He's been injured.
Yeah, like it's been very stop and start. So that could, I don't know what I'm going with that. Ronaldo, Pogba, Cavani, Juan Mata, Lingard, Matic, Lee Grant. Dubravka came, had one game, shit his pants, and went.
I was at that game. And the whole crowd was losing their shit every time he got the ball.
Oh my god!
He
was like, "No, this ain't for me. I'm off." After that game, he just decided.
He's got a Carabao Cup winners medal.
Yeah. So is it a green? That's the technicality. Is it a green? Weird one. Butland just there for
missing
photos.
He's missing.
I seen him take a pic with a Carabao Cup. I'm like, you cheeky bastard! You've done nothing. You've not even
been on the bench. Like, you've been on the bench.
You train.
Yeah.
And you sat there with like happy to win with the team and that. I thought, cheeky bastard, you've done nothing at all. So yeah, that is a green, absolutely. The only green of the transfer windows, and we've just been through 10 transfer windows there, by the way. So anyone who comes at us and tries to talk shit about the Glazers, about the way our transfers are being run, about any of that absolute bollocks, watch this show and you'll understand why. Because it's just some of the signings have been fucking atrocious.
Like Dave said, though,
we end on a positive.
On paper, some of those signings, you were like, yes,
yeah,
that's gonna be,
yeah,
and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It just didn't. If you looked at it on paper, you'd be like, oh, that's a good window, that's a good window.
Yeah.
But it just didn't work. Like none of them worked. Like not one of them worked.
On paper, that Falcao transfer window was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That was like perfect.
Yeah. Crazy, innit? How things work, to be fair. What we'll end it is upcoming transfer window. Give us 3 main targets who you'd go and get now, if we can, very quickly.
The player or the position?
Anyone who you want, just 3 targets going into the summer. Obviously, slightly realistic. Don't hit Mbappe. Like, gonna be realistic targets at least.
Kane, depending on the price. Kane, if we can get him for 60, 70 million. Great. If they want 100 million, no, fuck, move on. Don't go and don't drag it out over the entire summer negotiating because we're not gonna. Just don't fucking do that. Sign Sabitzer, and then go and get a DM or get a backup DM, someone like a Sangare, a young DM who could come in and learn under Casemiro. And then we're probably going to need a centre back because I think Maguire goes and Bailly goes, so we're probably going to need a centre back. So tricky.
If Vegas was there for an option for 5 to 10, you'd take him or let him go back.
Let him go back.
Let him go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like him, I do, but he's a striker who can't score. Like, what's the point? It's like a goalkeeper who can't get clean sheets. It's like it's pointless.
He'll be happy anyway. He's won a fucking trophy. You know what I mean? Like for United,
and then centre back. I'm trying to think of a centre back choice that I would like. I think we could go get realistically.
Let's go back to you on that.
Come back to me. Let Aaron go on.
Okay. Aaron.
I'd go striker. I'd agree with Harry Kane. Probably makes the most sense. Midfielder. I'd probably say Milinkovic.
I thought you said De Jong. Did you not say De Jong there?
No. Milinkovic, Savic, or Ruben Neves. One of the two I'd take. And for centre back, who I'd like to see in the Prem. Do you know Bastoni that plays for Inter Milan? He won't come to United, but I'd love to see him at United.
I like him. Good player.
Is Guardiola going somewhere? Has somebody signed him yet?
He's pricey. Very pricey. Like £90 million are talking.
Is that what they want for him? Is that what they want?
Yeah, City and Chelsea both linked with him. They're looking at big fees for that. So.
I would like him. I think he's a fantastic player. But if we're gonna have to maybe go a little bit lower, maybe Jordan Timber might be the only option. If we've not absolutely ruined that relationship with Ajax, I think that'd be. I think Dave has come in with his realistic Costa. I think that's Diogo Costa, the goalkeeper. Kane and Declan Rice. He's moving, but I don't know where. I think Rice would cost a fortune as well. Rice would be
100 million easy.
Rice, Kane, and Costa. Costa's got a release clause, £70 million, something like that. Kane's going to cost you
270 million, isn't it? Like you thought.
Declan Rice is probably going to cost a similar amount as well, around that kind of ballpark. But it depends how well you sell it.
For Rice.
Yeah, if you sell Maguire for decent money, sell McTominay for decent money, and a couple others, you might be all right.
Jones.
Well, Jones is free, in it.
Money, though.
No, Jones is free, so
you probably get a bit of money for him. Tellez, you get a bit of money for him.
Pennies, mate.
You get chump change for that.
Wan-Bissaka might go. I still think Wan-Bissaka might go.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's wanted to end it with a bit of a fun. We're not far away now. Literally, we're pretty much in April now. So we've got 2 months until the summer transfer window, which is mental, and the end of the season as well. Yeah, I think we can end it there, lads. It's been quite fun, this, to be fair. So we'll do something similar if we can kind of fit it in towards the end of this week. If you haven't saw our video with Jay Motti from Stratford Paddock last night, 90-minute nightmares, make sure you go check that out. It's a very fun show. What else am I forgetting? Oh, socials. Sorry, my brain's just fried from going through all that thing. Real Reds Talk on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you follow us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. And yeah, I think that's it. What have we got tomorrow now? We're on Thursday, aren't we? So Friday.
New show tomorrow.
Yeah, new show. Oh, yeah, with a special guest, actually, which is still lining up at the minute. So keep an eye out for that. Another special guest. We're following on here. And then weekend, we've got the Newcastle preview on Saturday and then the watch along on Sunday. Premier League football is back, so buzzing. Can't fucking wait to watch United again. To this shit international football. So unless you lads have got anything else you want to say, we can happily show up there.
Dave's got, if it's not Rice, you've got Lefay, Nunez, and Kakawa. I don't know who they is. Because we aren't
bringing him back.
Yeah, Kakawa. Because we aren't getting Frankie. Sorry, Nick. He's ruining your dreams, Dave.
We'll see about
that. Shah Sam, great show as always. Shout out to Shah Sam, Real Reds Ultra. Appreciate it, mate. Always love to see you in the chat.
Yeah, cool. Let's wrap it up then. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Subscribe to Real Reds Talk. If you want to become a member, click that join button next to the notification bell for the price of £1 per month. Exclusive content, a badge next to your name, and a chance to feature on the show. We'll see you in the next one. Tomorrow, new show, special guest. Tune in, 6 o'clock. Peace.